Hi everyone, I'm Arnold Schwartz, nationally certified personal trainer here at the Suffolk YJCC. First off, I want to say we miss you, and we're very hopeful that we'll be able to do these things together, face to face, sooner rather than later. But we're going to wait till everything is safe. What I'd like to do today is to show you a number of different exercise routines that you can do at home because you don't have the facilities of the gym. A lot of you are used to working with machines, so I'm going to show you some alternate ways of working a lot of the same muscle groups at home using techniques that are simple, easy to remember, easy to execute, nothing extravagant that you have to remember and do I do this, do I do that. So I'm hoping that this will be helpful for you in the interim. The idea behind what I want to show you is something that everyone pretty much can do, and we have modifications from easy to hard for many of these exercises so that we can broaden out how many people can actually do these exercises. So with that, let's begin. Okay, before we do any exercising, we'd like to do some warm-ups. This will help get the synovial fluid in our joints warmed up a little bit, make exercising a little easier, and prevent us from really having any kind of difficult outcomes from this, no injuries, things like that. So one of the things, we could just simply walk in place. Just make sure you get the knees as high as you can. You can do this for 30 seconds, a minute. You can make it faster if you like. Just very easily, just easing into this exercise. Another one we can do for the upper body, we can just simply do little airplane circles, small, getting a little bit larger, and then you get full swings going. I'm kind of truncating how long it would take. Normally it would take a little longer. Same thing, go the reverse way, starting small, getting bigger, bigger still, large. Okay, so you're warming up your shoulders a little bit, deltoid muscles. Another upper body routine I like to do using dumbbells. If you happen not to have dumbbells, you can use bottled water, pound, 2 pounds, it's really all you need. And this is a routine that requires a little bit of memory, but not much. It's pretty simple. You just have your legs shoulder width apart, nice athletic stance, a little bend in your knees, protecting your back, straight back, chest is up, and throw a punch and down. Curl up, down, throw a punch. A lot of people when they first do this do a punch like that. I want you to come straight at me. Straight out, and in some cases I'll put a little heel raise at the end if you are so inclined. So that's another warm-up exercise we do. A third one, well, I'll actually hold on to these. We just some stepping. So we go side, just get our legs moving a little bit. So side step and then behind, like such. Again, you could do this for 30 seconds, a minute, something like that. Okay, so that's that one. If you have at home a treadmill, obviously, or a stationary bike, that would be a great way. Set it on low tension. That would be a great way also to just warm up a bit without stressing yourself too much. Remember, this is at the very beginning of the exercise. So those are just a few of the ways that we can just get our body ready to do some resistance training. Okay, so just a reminder to make sure you're cleared medically by your doctor if you haven't been exercising for some time. If you had been, then you're most likely okay. We're going to focus now on upper body exercises you could do rather simply at home. The first one I'm going to do is for your deltoids, anterior and lateral deltoids. That's the front and the top of your deltoid muscle. And what we do, we could either do it seated or standing. I'll show you what seated would look like. There are two ways that I suggest doing this. One is just come out and back. So we're giving them a good range of motion, and it will build in intensity over time. So you want to start light, and I'll show you, you can even use those water bottles again. If you don't have any kind of dumbbells at home, you could do it like this. I'm at 8 right now. I suggest with this, go to 10. You don't want to stress your shoulders too much. They can be a little delicate. Rotator cuff muscles can get kind of cranky sometimes. So 10 is sufficient. Now I'll show you standing, and I'll just use water bottles as an example of the second way we can do this. So, and this is also a little bit of brain training because it's different and you have to adjust to it. So that's something I like to work with too. Just a little bit of carving new paths neurologically. So we would go, spread your wings, together, back, down, just like this. This is 3, 4. You could use, if you don't have dumbbells and you have, I don't know, jars of ragu, you can use those. You can use 2-liter bottles if you can hold on to them, or 1-liter bottles. So anything at your disposal that you're comfortable with. Remember, as you start, it should be light, so that by the time you get toward the end, 8th, 9th, 10th one, you should be feeling pretty good resistance, and that's how you gain in strength over time. So the shoulders. Many of you may have tubes or straps for the home. This would be a way of doing curls for your biceps. Main thing you want to remember, keep your biceps and your arms at your side. You don't want front to back movement because it just takes away from the exercise. Keep them pasted to your sides like there's glue, and just come up. Just like that. You don't want to come this way. Just come straight up. You can do them one at a time if that's something you'd rather do. You can do that as well. If you want to get more involvement in your forearms, go this way. There's a way to do it actually where you just simply hold them that way and just come up like this. And that's all you need for bicep curls. Many of us want to do our pecs. How do we do that? Well, you take a strap like this, just like those tubes do, in various resistances. So oftentimes they come in a package of, let's say, 3. So you could have the one that works best for you. You put it around your back. Shoulders are straight, your back straight, your chest is up always. You're pushing forward. And again, you want this to build. If I ask a client, how did it feel number 1 versus number 10 or number 15? If they say it's about the same, then we say, okay, let's go heavier because you're not getting enough of a workout. You need it to be more resistive toward the end. Not impossible, just a little harder. And that's what we're doing right now. Okay, now we're going to go over and do some tricep exercises There are two that we can do. One I'll do right here. It would be a bench dip. Okay, so we're doing triceps now, and I'm going to show you two different exercises you can do. One is a bench dip, and if you have a low chair, something like that at home, so you're sitting on the chair, you scooch your feet out all the way. You don't want to be over here because now you're not doing a whole lot. Have them straight and just come straight down, push up. Straight down, push up. This is body weight. This is yet another way we can exercise a muscle group in the gym, right? We have machines, we have pulleys, we have cables, free weights. Well, we also have body weights. So that's one way. One way I would not suggest, and I see a lot of people doing this in the gym, is what's called kickbacks, where they stay like this and they go like so. The reason I suggest not doing this, it's a very inefficient exercise. The secret to really doing the proper amount of work and exercising your muscles in the right way is to match the resistance, the level of resistance, with your muscle's ability to deal with that resistance. So, when your arm is out here, resistance is the most it's going to be because it's gravity pushing straight down. However, any muscle arc is strongest in the middle, but it's weakest at the ends, at the bottom and at the top. So, when you're working this way, guess what? Your tricep muscle is at its weakest point, at a time when resistance is at its greatest. So, you ever see anyone using a heavy weight to do the kickback? No, because it's the wrong way. It's inefficient. So, I tend not to do those. One more we're going to go to is an overhead, using a strap. So suppose you have a doorway, you have a door, or any other object that's high and that is pretty solid. It's not going to fall or pull away. You stand like so, and you push down. You push down. I'll show you from the side what it looks like. Again, we are not moving our arms front to back. We're keeping them right at our sides. Maximum effort right on the triceps. And these you do 10 or 15 or however many you can. As with any of these, you could do a second set, and you may find that the resistance is building a little bit more, and so at least you'll get something out of it. The whole point of all these exercises is to give you something you can do at home. Most of the time, it's going to be just fine. Maybe 90% of what you could do in a gym, you don't have the availability of the machines that most of us like to use, but this will certainly be plenty enough to help you get through this time. I'm going to add one bonus exercise for you. If you have some kind of a vertical surface, maybe a railing, a staircase with spindles, something that you could wrap a strap around that's secure and stable, we could do a row. Again, approximating what we would do with the row machine here at the gym. So, very simply, again, as everything else, you want to be upright, you're sitting straight, and your chest is up, and you want to have full stretch. I'm not quite full stretch, but just for the purposes of illustrating the exercise. And then you just come back. And the sensation you want, I use this all the time, I take a pencil and I put it vertically right along the spine in the back. And the sensation you should have is that you're wrapping your back muscles on either side of the spine around that pencil. That tells me you've got enough exercising going on there. You're doing full motion. If you just stop here, you're not getting a whole lot. Full range of motion is really what we want with every exercise, whether it's biceps, triceps, and we're going to get to some lower body exercises as well. Okay. For those of you who are able to get down and get up from the floor, there's a couple of all-purpose exercises I'd like to show you as well. One is called a bird dog. What I like about it is that it just exercises so many parts of your body, so many different muscle groups at the same time. So what would be involved here is you would take dumbbells. In this case, I'm just using water to demonstrate. And what we do is simultaneously extend an arm and a leg on opposite sides. So we're using our core to support ourselves, using our quads, our glutes, our hamstrings to enable us to lift and extend and hold, leg out, using our deltoid muscles as well to extend our arms. While we're in this position, another exercise we can do very easily is the fire hydrant, is what we call it, and for very obvious reasons. We're going to extend our hips up as high as we can, open up those hips, one side at a time. This is 8, 9, 10. And we do the other side as well. Another exercise that's been around for a very long time is push-ups. Not many of us can necessarily do a whole lot of them, but there are modifications we can do. I'll start with the standard push-up and show you how we progress from there. Traditional push-up. If we want to get more tricep involvement, we do what's called a diamond push-up. Now, let's say you have difficulty doing a full push-up. What we can do, you follow me over here, you find a countertop of some kind, some other item that you can push against that's higher up. So, for example, we were on the floor before. If we do it this way, come into the bar right at chest level, remembering not to sag and not to V up, just go straight in. That's a little bit easier. Easier still, something a little higher. Same thing. Lean in, push out. In all cases, your arms, your hands were at shoulder width apart or a little bit wider. Heels are coming off the ground. So that's a way of doing a push-up as well. So those are just a few of the all-purpose exercises I think we can include when you are able to and want to do something that you haven't done elsewhere. Okay, so balance is really key, particularly among us folks who are 60, 65 and over. If we fall, bad things happen. The outcomes generally aren't very good. And we're all going to get off balance at some time or other. We'll kick a curb and we'll just get off balance. The trick is learning how to stay vertical. Many ways to do that. One, very simply, is a one-legged stand where you hold on to something that's stable. You get one leg up, get yourself stable, let go. And you just hold that for 30 seconds if you can. Then you switch legs. Same thing. You could do it less if you want. Now I'll do this. Now let's say you get out of balance. Grab it. Don't put your foot down. Just stabilize yourself. Continue. That's one way of building some sort of balance control. Another one is what I call a tandem walk, where you put one foot in front of the other, heel toe. I'm going to demonstrate that too. So I'm going to walk back here. And the way you do this is you just simply put one foot in front of the other. You don't want to run through it like this because you're not really helping yourself. And this is at the end of a bunch of working out, so it's a little bit harder. If you want to have a better shot at it, do it early on before you've used your muscles. This teaches your body how to maintain control. Your brain is communicating with the whole chain, all the way up and down to your feet. Like that. So those are two ways that we can work on balance. So many of us spend a lot of our day sitting. Just the fact of life these days in modern times. So what happens when we sit? When we sit, our hamstrings shorten up on us a little bit with disuse, with not even using them. So what does that do? Well, if it tightens the back of your leg, shortens that, it tugs down on your pelvis a little bit, causes you to maybe correct and bend forward without even knowing it, subconsciously, and before you know it, you may have a bad back, possibly. So a lot of people who go to their orthopedists saying my back hurts, well, it may not be the back. It may simply be because their hamstrings are tugging at their backs, really. So one way we can do this, there's several ways. One way is the very simple, you're just bending down with your legs straight, you're feeling the pull back here. Another way is where you extend your leg on some surface and you kind of come down and you feel the stretch here. You do it, this is low, but top of the chair or something like that. Another excellent way to do it, it's a Pilates ring, not normally used for this, but if at home you have a belt, you have a sash from a robe, anything like that, the way to do it, very effective. And you just keep your leg fully extended, maybe a slight bend in the knee so you don't cause any issues with your knee, but basically straight. And you will feel a very nice pull, a stretch right here in your hamstrings. You may relax it a little bit, go again. You may find you could bring it a little further. Same thing with the other leg. Another muscle group, I think it's very tight, is the hip flexors. One way to deal with that is you're in a kneeling position. This is kind of what we would do for a lunge. But what you do is you come down, again, chest up, back straight, and you're coming this way and you're pulling right here. You're feeling the stretch. You don't bounce up and down, you just hold it. You just hold that 20, 30 seconds. Same thing on the other side. I won't demonstrate both sides, you'll know it's the same thing. Shoulders. One way you can open up your shoulders is in a shower or not. Take your arm behind, gently pull. One side, hold, 20, 30 seconds. Same thing the other way, pull, hold, 20, 30 seconds. Another way to open up your shoulders, we do a lot of this. We want to be this way. So how do we do that? Imagine a doorway here. You stand inside the doorway. Your arms are against the door jambs, and you just push forward, and you hold. You're opening all this up. Back to the legs. Quads. The way you do quads, many ways. You could do them standing. You just simply pull them back, your heel back to your glutes, and you hold for 30 seconds or so, and you should feel a good stretch on your quads. And if you're really fit, maybe you could do it without holding on to anything. Back over here, calf stretch. Now this has an elevation that makes the calf stretch easier, leaning forward like that, but just on the floor. Just hold against anything, a catch and counter. Push forward, forward. Try to keep your heel down, and you'll feel your calves tightening. You could also adjust for your Achilles a little bit. I don't want you to go too rough on the Achilles. That's too many of us, including myself, have had Achilles issues. So, but that's a way to stretch out your calf muscles as well. So we've done our legs completely. We've done our chest, neck. One way we can do it. A lot of us have a lot of cervical damage in our neck. One thing we can do simply, sitting or standing, without rotating our shoulders, just go all the way and back, all the way, hold, come back, same thing. Again, do this 4 or 5 times. Another way is take your hand, put it over one side, let's say the left side of your skull, and go with a 45-degree angle. Bring it this way. Not like this, but it's forward, but at an angle. Same thing the other way, at an angle. I happen to have a lot of damage in my spine, my upper spine. When I do this, I completely feel it coming all the way down into my back, into my traps, all the way down, from the shoulders, from the neck. So that's also a good stretch for us to consider. There are many others. Time is short, so I'll say goodbye for now, and maybe I'll see you again, and hopefully in person.